At first, it feels like peace. No noise, no waiting, no compromises. You can finally do whatever you want. Eat at midnight, leave dishes in the sink, blast music when you feel like it. And for a while, it feels like freedom, like a long exhale after years of holding it all in. But then, slowly, almost imperceptibly, the quiet starts talking back. You realize the walls echo too loudly when you laugh. The refrigerator hums in the dead of night, reminding you that only one plate will ever be set at the table. You begin to notice how empty your living room feels when sunlight spills in the morning, and no one is there to feel it with you. Living alone is different from being lonely. Loneliness hits when you forget what it feels like to belong. But living alone is a mirror that shows you who you really are, stripped of distractions, stripped of responsibilities that once defined you. It's uncomfortable, it's raw, and it's necessary. You begin noticing small things you never cared about before. The sound of the kettle whistling in the morning, the rhythm of your own footsteps in the hallway, the smell of bread baking, the same bread you used to argue with someone else about who should clean the dishes. Some days, the freedom feels exhilarating. You dance in the kitchen. You talk to yourself in the mirror just to hear your own voice. You rediscover hobbies abandoned decades ago. You make decisions for yourself. No compromise, no negotiation. For a while, it's magical. But then the silence grows heavy. It waits in corners, on chairs that no one sits on. It lingers after dinner. It creeps into the bedroom at night, whispering memories you hadn't realized you were holding on to. And suddenly, you understand. The people who were once the soundtrack of your life are gone, or far away. You start to recognize patterns you never noticed before. How easily time slips through your fingers when no one is around to remind you to move forward. The night spent scrolling endlessly, searching for connection, only to find it absent. Living alone changes you. Slowly, profoundly. You become braver because every noise in the night is yours to face. You become wiser because your mind finally has space to think. You become softer because you see the fragility of life reflected in empty chairs and quiet hallways. But there is a danger in living alone, too. It's easy to shrink inside your own space, to say no to invitations, because leaving your comfort zone suddenly feels like a chore, to stop answering the phone, to forget that life is still happening outside your door. So you remind yourself, living alone doesn't mean being alone. Invite people in, even if it's just for tea. Answer a call from a friend you haven't spoken to in months. Volunteer, join a class, sit in a cafe, watch life move past your window, because connection is still possible. Even when the house is silent, even when the nights feel long, and as you adjust to this rhythm, something beautiful happens. You start appreciating small joys, the smell of rain on the balcony, the sound of your favorite song while you cook, the way sunlight hits the floor just right in the morning. You realize independence isn't just about being alone. It's about learning to love your own company, while still leaving space for others to enter. Time passes. You grow comfortable with the quiet, but you never stop noticing it. You become more deliberate about your choices, about the people you let close, the moments you cherish, the memories you create, because living alone teaches you the value of attention to yourself, and attention to those who still matter. And in the end, living alone becomes a gift, not because it's easy, but because it shows you what matters most when you strip everything else away. It shows you that life is a balance between solitude and connection, between silence and laughter, between freedom and love. So tonight, as you sit in your quiet space, look around. Think of the people you still have time to invite into your life. Reach out, call an old friend, make plans you might have postponed for years. Because sometimes the lessons of living alone are only fully understood when you realize that you were never meant to do it entirely by yourself. And as you reflect on your solitude tonight, remember this: there are stories out there of people learning to reconnect, rediscover joy, and find themselves again after years of quiet. The next story might just show you a path you didn't know existed,